Welcome to Daggers and Shadow Daddies.
We're your hosts, Ryan and Adriana.
Buckle up, Buttercup.
Quick disclaimer, this is a reread for Fourth Wing and Iron Flame as we prepare for the book Onyx Storm. Spoilers ahead. We have been rewatching all of the X-Men, and getting to see Storm use her lightning power has been satiating my desire for a TV show or Onyx Storm, all of it, and she would make a perfect Violet.
She would. And her hair is kind of right for it in the second or third one.
Oh my god, I didn't even make that connection that she has silver hair.
And she often twirls in circles real fast. Classic Violet. I do think it holds up so well. The first few.
It was really cheesy. I'm really hoping that if they do a TV show of this, that it's not this cheesy.
Oh yeah, but X-Men in the year 2000 holds up better than BBC productions do now. Like, we watched a lot of Doctor Who.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
It comes off like Doctor Who's like, oh, they got a college budget, but no talented editors. You know, which is where when we think about how this series is going to go, is it HBO or who is supposedly making it?
I think Amazon.
Well, it could go either way then.
Does Storm use her lightning power in the same way that Violet does?
No, Storm uses it way more effectively.
Well, Storm can aim, it turns out. But
it comes out of her hand in the second movie.
And does it come out of Violet? It does come out of Violet's hand at some point.
It seems to me the way that it's described is like she points and lightning goes. I don't know if she's pointing and it's coming down from the sky like she's targeting it. Does that make sense?
I thought when she's using the lesser magic, that it's leaving her fingers to lift things up, like when she lifted up a pencil or a pen.
I don't know, I guess. I didn't pay much attention. I know she talks about feeling the electricity in her hands, basically.
Yeah, and she'll throw her hands forward, just like Storm.
Her eyes glaze over. Honestly, I hope they depict it like Storm in the way that she uses it.
But between her and her mom, they're a mix of that one character.
Yeah, honestly, Storm would kick ass in this series. To be fair, her mom does storms, which you would think would also include lightning, and maybe I'm assuming that because of the X-Men.
I think that if Violet's mom is creating a thunderstorm, it could have lightning in it.
But she can't direct the lightning.
Yeah, I don't think she could direct the lightning.
What if they just, like, nicknamed Violet Rod? You know what I mean? Like a lightning rod.
Oh my god.
Hey, Rod. And she just becomes more androgynous through the series.
I was thinking about how Violet's mom, even her signet, seems way cooler, more powerful, and more effective than Melgren's.
Yes, that's why we have the opinion that Melgren's not honest about what his signet really does.
He can't be.
And you can't be like the number one general, but also not have a classified signet.
Yeah.
Like, it seems weird that his signet's something they would just make public information. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like we have enough about him to where it sounds like it's from a dragon that's way bigger and badder than Tarin.
And he's always with King Tari?
King Julian.
King Julian? That's not a good voice. What was that guy? Maurice. No, Maurice is a different
Mort.
Yeah. King Julian. No, you try it.
I can't do King Julian's voice.
No, you're supposed to do Mort's voice.
I can.
Step aside, Maurice.
Overall, there's a lot of correlations from X-Men to this book series.
Yeah, honestly.
Because a siphon is very similar to Rogue.
Yeah, and the way that everybody fucks all the time.
Oh, yeah, they do leave that out of X-Men.
No, they don't. Hugh Jackman's whole purpose in being there is everybody finds him a little fuckable. Even the child that he brings to the school crushes on him a bit.
Rogue.
Yes.
Child.
Yeah, no, I'm saying
like any teen girl would crush on Hugh Jackman. Yeah.
Yeah, we're watching this with our daughter, and she is really trying to kill me. Because it used to be just you that I would hear kind of whenever Hugh Jackman would show up, and like he flexes a little bit, and I could feel you twitch. Now it's both of you, just constant commentary. It's just like, oh, there's something going on in the movie. And Hugh Jackman, a muscle will pop out kind of on screen, just like it's 3D and it's in your face. You two want to talk about the muscle. And then you guys will be like, so what the fuck's going on in this scene?
She's constantly asking questions.
Yeah, and my son and I have to try to kind of explain it. Other than my son is also somehow, he's not distracted by Hugh Jackman. But it's really funny because he will have a theory in his head about what's about to happen and kind of miss what is currently happening. And it's so cool to just kind of listen to his theory while it's going. Sometimes it's just true and he's kind of telling you what's happening, and sometimes it's like, wait a minute, I don't think you were listening 3 minutes ago. They did explain this differently. What's happening?
But I think even just the fact that we're watching it with our kids is telling that this book is much more inappropriate compared to X-Men.
I don't know. The kids have to hide their faces a lot. I believe our son described it as, I missed 10% of this movie. It's a 2-hour movie. I feel like I've missed 10% of his book. Other than I've got 150% of chapter 32.
I was going to say, you're now an expert on all the sex scenes in Fourth Wing.
Mm-hmm.
I made you go back and listen to chapter 32. What was the consensus on, did Xaden dodge lightning?
No, Xaden did not dodge lightning, and he didn't smother it.
Turns out he did nothing. There was just lightning going on outside because I had to go back and listen to this.
You know what makes this so cool?
What?
When I think about it, so there's sexy time, right? Lightning makes sense. Do you know the song Lightning Striking?
No.
Do you want to listen to it real quick and you just cut it out?
That song is so perfect.
Thanks. It's what I think of when they started doing it and lightning striking. And I was thinking of it the other day and I'm like, oh, I need to remember to bring this up. And I never do.
That song gives off a raised eyebrow questioning the age gap of the singer versus the girl he's singing about.
Because it was written in the 60s about a girl. And for whatever reason, all of our grandparents were pedophiles.
Well, he also says little girl. And I'm like, little as in she's a little younger?
No, she's small. She's like 4'6".
Itty bitty.
93 pounds. She's very small. They did that a lot, though. Little girl just meant young woman back in the day.
Yeah. And
sometimes it meant little girl.
Yeah.
They'd be 16 and off getting married, lying on their certificates of marriage.
Is this where you black out and just hear this song playing during the sex scenes?
No, I wish I could black it out. Instead, I'm like, whenever they're fucking, I imagine this song's just kind of going in the background. The lightning is striking again. I'm going on tour. Get ready. Yeah, I'm not a gifted songbird. Everybody has their skills. It's not one of mine.
I don't know how to switch from a sex scene about lightning to...
Let's talk about X-Men. Femke Jensen, who we haven't discussed enough.
Oh, right.
Wow. That was an awakening. Storm and Femke Jensen, to be fair, but Storm didn't hit me until Last Stand. The movie X-Men Last Stand. Storm's hair alone. Holy cow.
That's so funny.
So sexy.
Because I think when we met, I think I had her haircut.
You did.
That's what I thought.
And it stuck with me. It was so formative. That is, to this day, the sexiest haircut a woman can have.
Oh,
in my brain.
Wow.
Outside of whatever yours looks like in any moment where I see you.
Okay. Yeah, I love Storm's hair. So I went to the hairstylist and was like, this is what I want. I can't afford the silver, but I want everything else.
Dude, it looks so good. And Femke Jensen had very similar hair in the second movie.
Really? Oh, yeah. And then in the third one, it was incredibly long.
Yeah, which also looked nice. Femke Jensen, you can't go wrong with. You have also since informed me. So I thought that was why I liked brunette women for the longest time. Because when the first one came out, I was just like, oh, this woman is perfect. I'll find one just like her. Somewhere between Femke Jensen and Jennifer Connelly. I was like, they're just perfect. They're brunette women. And you have since informed me.
Just colorblind.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that would affect things that much.
Her redhead is like Ariel, but darker.
That doesn't mean anything to me.
Oh.
I'm so sorry to tell you that.
I don't think there's any gingers in this book.
Is it fire truck colored?
Yeah, her hair.
Yeah,
Kind of.
It's like, it's obviously red then.
Yeah, to us.
Get out of here. To us normals. Fine. Well, to those of us who are color deficient in the reds and greens, we see
brown.
We see a lot of brown. The world is very brown.
Do you remember what chapter 31 ended on?
No.
It ended with Daddy Atos giving them the letter.
I'm comfortable with hearing you say the word
Daddy.
Yeah. Like
Daddy Atos.
As long as you can keep in the context of this book, but it immediately gave me like a...
Ick. Gross.
Not for me.
I started calling him that because I saw him just as creepy as Deigh.
Here's the funny thing. In my mind, I'm fine with calling him Daddy Atos. But hearing you say it for whatever reason was like, I don't like that. So if you're ever curious, I know it hasn't come up in the last decade and a half. It doesn't need to. It's not for me.
You're not into that?
Nope.
Well, now I know you're ick, and that I enjoy.
You found one in 15 years.
So he gives them the letter, and that's when chapter 36 starts. They have the orders to continue on to the new location for war games or stay and save the village.
Yeah.
I don't understand why staying and saving the village isn't a form of loyalty other than that village is with Orisha.
Poromil. They're not Pormilian. They're Pormilish citizens?
Pormish.
No, that can't be right. Pormish? They're not Pornish. A Pornish game hen. It's already plugged. In the turducken situation, a Pornish game hen. It's just easier to stop. $5 in that game. Never mind. I don't think I understand porn. Or ends.
Well, I was going to talk about saving the village people.
First of all, and do we remember all the village people? Right. You had a construction, you had a cop, a sailor, a Native American person being appropriated. I don't actually think it was a Native American person.
I don't think so.
But the important thing is they could stay at the YMCA. And if you think about it, it kind of makes sense within the context of this chapter.
How?
They save those people, and the people are so grateful. They shout from the rooftops, "Young man." There's no need to feel down. Pick your girl up off the ground.
There is no way
we're getting... There's a mender.
We're getting through chapter 36.
I'm not done yet. I got lyrics. There's a mender. We can take you there. No, I was going to go further, and then I got busy laughing and forgot all of the lyrics in my head. There wasn't that many lyrics.
I have no idea how we're going to get...
Imagine they're fighting the Venin. It's just, bum, 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 bum. It's fun to fight at... whatever the name of the town is, and they just spell it out for like 15 characters. Some of the people are not educated well enough to spell it correctly, so it gets real jumbled like by the third letter. The Griffin Flyers are confused, the townspeople are confused, and the Venin are just annoyed. They're like, where the fuck are we? It'd be awesome.
It's just a dance battle.
Honestly, imagine Xaden Riorson just doing like the Gru moves with his hips. But he's got shadow backup dancers. I'm pretty sure I could make this a movie.
I'm sure you could, but should you?
I do not have the budget or connections, but if somebody out there does, you don't owe me any credit. You make it, I'll find it. If you build it, we will come. You know what I mean?
No.
I wouldn't. Not to Xaden just busting out them crazy hips. My chair's pretty noisy to be making hip motions like that.
Is this your way of coping with what happened in these chapters?
I refuse to address the elephant-cocked, beautiful, perfect human being that is going to come back to life in the third or fourth book.
Right. Well, we're going to try to get through chapter 36 without hurting your feelings again. In 36, he doesn't die, so that one should be fine, right? You're just staring at me.
Listen, why'd you have to bring him up? Okay?
We have to. We have to get through it.
Okay, and tell me about your thing.
They obviously all decide to stay and fight with Xaden. They reflect on their parents. Liam hopes he has an honorable death.
Christ, you couldn't go 10 seconds without bringing it up again. You're killing me. What about Xaden's a filthy liar, and Violet's having a hard time dealing with it, and Xaden is full of empty promises and how insanely powerful he is in this.
Well, like Violet, we're going to push those feelings deep down and focus on what we have in front of us.
No, I don't want to. I want to push those feelings deep down.
Oh, well, he says that. Violet reflects on her mom's dagger, and this is a sign that her mom knows. Sgaeyl approves of Violet, and Violet, I love how she is just an asshole back to Sgaeyl. She says, I wasn't asking for your approval.
Yeah, she's like, I don't need you, you big lizard bitch. Like, I need you guys to quit collectively lying to me and being dickheads. Now let's fight the thing that used to be a fairy tale 10 minutes ago.
What a shock that would be.
Yeah, imagine you get to box Santa Claus. At some point, you're chilling, get ready, Christmas morning, getting stuff ready for the kids to wake up the next day, and some man walks in your house wearing red. And you're like, motherfucker, I thought you were a legend.
It can't be Santa. It has to be something that you would be scared of. Nightmares.
Honestly, that's it. I cannot think of another fictional creature that for whatever reason in my mind, I can't beat Santa.
Krampus. It's the
I
Santa.
can destroy Krampus because he's a German thing. Like, their stuff isn't scary to me. He's the sauerkraut of scary things.
What about the thing in the movie The Ring?
No, again, that isn't that hard. She just wants you to tell her story to people. Did you watch that movie?
No, I was too scared.
Okay. I feel like... Here's the thing. Ultimately, the whole reason she's peddling the movie along is she wants people to know how awful her life was.
Oh.
That's more or less what it comes down to. And I think it's loosely based on a Japanese, there's a name for what their kind of horror figures are.
Like a folklore?
Yeah. And I think it's loosely based on one of their Oni.
I know you're trying to keep us off track, but we're going to get to the scene.
I don't want to. I am a grown man, and I shouldn't be subjugated to this bullshit.
Violet also thinks about how it was likely wyvern, not dragons, that Mira saw.
Yeah, here's my thing about this. So I'm going to pick at this just a touch, though. So everybody denies the existence of wyvern, right? Constantly.
Yep.
Who the fuck are the wyvern fighting if the people at the outpost don't know wyvern are real? It's only the generals and the people that have been in the army a long time, not the army, but Sgaeyl, for a long time, that seem to have any knowledge of wyvern being real.
I wonder if there's someone with a signet like Imogen's being used.
Where they forget about it?
Yeah, like they go to the outpost or something and they do like a mind wipe of some kind.
But what makes Violet desirable is she can kill the Venin, right? Everybody's like, holy fuck, she killed the Venin. Now, to be fair, Xaden also does. But they act like Violet is the secret weapon to murdering all Venin, right? So why are you sending out fleets of people to guard against something that you would wipe their memory of existing? They can never develop a strategy to fight it.
I think at one point in Iron Flame, this gets explained, and I liked the answer, but I can't remember it anymore.
Okay, well, I'm excited to get back into that because I don't remember it either. I remember there being a vague thing about the idea like, oh, where the wards were is totally fine because the wyvern couldn't exist within the wards.
No, I think the reason for not telling everyone was because they didn't want to deal with the issue of everyone disagreeing with the decision that they made to not help outsiders.
Yeah, which, again, doesn't make a lot of sense because the outsiders, like, if you're you're a traveling person, right? We imagine roads exist for people that don't have dragons to ride or griffins to fly. Like, imagine you're a traveling merchant. What the fuck are your trade deals like? Like, none of these people are like, so the wyvern, are they fucking with you guys too? And then Navarian people are just laughing hysterically like, wyvern. I haven't heard about those since I was a child. What the fuck? Come on, man. That's not how things work.
I don't think I can open up this can of worms with you on how information is spread within this continent because the last time that was over an hour.
Okay, I'll keep it very short. The similarities between the Quran and the Bible exist because communication across far distances is not something new. People have traveled always and spread information, and that's as far as I'll go with it. I think it's a plot hole.
Well, we're going to pretend like it doesn't exist.
Oh, but we have to not pretend like Liam is alive.
You're pretending like he's coming back later.
I'm not pretending. He's coming back. I promise. He must. Xaden dies as a Venin, saving Violet or doing something noble. And then Liam comes back, picks up the pieces of Xaden's broken life, and makes it a real experience for everybody involved.
Yeah.
Because he's perfect.
Okay. Whatever you say.
He was perfect.
We then learn that melgren can't see the outcomes of marked ones. This is when we actually get that information. Xaden says he does have more secrets, but after this, he will tell her anything she wants to know and says she still loves him.
Yeah, he's like, you still fucking love me.
No, I think it was she says she still loves him.
I think...
Because I have the note, forgives faster than me, so I think she said it. And I remember being a little shocked of like, well, I think it would have taken me more than a day to get over that one.
Yeah, I think you're right. Because I think what she said was more or less in spite of my better judgment. She doesn't want to love him right now because she doesn't forgive him. She just acknowledges that her love isn't dead. And he eventually says something along the lines of, shortly after Liam's deal, where he's like, this girl's a lot of things, but she's not fickle. What the fuck? Like, fine, but quit abusing that privilege. You fucking idiot. Stop. I really like Xaden. I'm just so hard on him in these, again, because they took the character that had none of Xaden's character flaws and murdered him and kept Xaden alive, which is fine.
In these last chapters, it's really rough for Xaden. It's like, gets worse and worse and worse.
It kind of builds up to that until I think halfway through next book for me.
Yeah, but then it also gets better, but it does get worse.
The first few chapters of the next book are going to be kind of tough because I remember those being a bit of a back and forth slog.
We see the Venin are obviously here at this point in chapter 36. They're trying to get to the clock tower. We now know later that it's because there is an iron box, some type of box that has runes inside of it.
Yes, and I believe it's referred to later as a lure.
Oh, like a trap?
No, like a lure, like it attracts Venins. Like a fishing lure attracts fish.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like they know it's there. It's not like they just stumbled across it and were searching for it. It draws them in. Yeah,
it was placed there specifically to lure in Venin.
It's
a light bulb for the moth.
Oh, as in Daddy Atos put it there.
Yes. And on the subject of moths, there's this great joke.
No, we are not getting
it. Famous Norm Macdonald.
Nope.
A dragon walks into a podiatrist's office?
Nope.
Okay.
You know we're getting close to the scene.
Getting close.
Violet aims for a chest with explosives, which is
It's just a super busty lady. I don't know, her tits look dynamite to me. It just keeps going.
But I think it's really great that she hit it. Like she was able to aim. She aims a few times, so she's getting a little bit better just throughout this fight.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, it didn't kill anything.
Too little, too late.
Oh.
Sorry.
So she's struggling with the amount of power that she's taking in, and she does take out a wyvern. And they were hoping that taking out the wyvern would take out the Venin, just like taking out a dragon will take out a rider. Didn't really work. I don't know. It seemed like they probably just assumed that the Venin was far away and they were just hoping.
I have a question.
Yes.
So Violet's dad read her a book.
Yep.
All about Venin.
Yep.
Didn't that book specifically say that they draw in power to create the Venin or the wyvern? Maybe this happens in the next book.
In the next book, something.
I thought this was clarified in this book as well, that the wyvern are creations of the Venin.
I don't remember anymore. But I do know that there was also another part of them loving the wyvern impacted it too.
Wow, the secret ingredient was love?
Yes, like the Powerpuff Girls almost.
Oh, I think we had a bit about that, didn't we?
I think so at some point. Or maybe we do this.
Sugar, spice, and everything nice. And chemical X. The wyvern were born. Bum, bum, ba-na-ba-ta, bum, 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 ba-na-ba-na.
This is such a tragic couple chapters. And you are doing a great job of making it light.
Thanks.
So while Violet's struggling with this amount of power, she's doing her own thing. I believe in this moment, her and Tarin are flying, and she looks over at Xaden and just watching him be a badass. Xaden tucks and rolls off of Sgaeyl to save people, and then he uses his shadows as a lasso to rope around Sgaeyl and pull himself back up onto her.
So, Xaden has his Wonder Woman moment. Right?
Oh, yeah.
He's got that lasso of truth, and he's like, I'll just use it like a collar. Or we could use it as Batman, because he's in the shadows, and Batman always had a grapple hook. Xaden's whole tuck and roll moment, super badass. Xaden being able to just toss a shadow rope up there and pull himself up, just shoot back up onto Sgaeyl. So badass. Those moments make you want to see a movie or a TV show, right?
Oh, so when I hear that moment, and I hear the moment when he said that he could black out an entire town with his shadows, those two make me wonder why he didn't save Liam the first time he was falling to his death.
So here's the thing. The reason that I say we want to see it in a TV show, imagine he blacks out the town, what they actually have to show you. It's just a random black screen with people talking for a little bit. Like, wow, his powers are incredible. Really? They're just in a room with no windows and he's killed the lights.
This is their way of trying to save money on the TV show.
Really, it's a big budget operation. What are you going to need? They're like, actually, fewer light bulbs. Don't worry about it. We don't even really need a camera for this part, just a couple mics. Yeah, no, if you're right, Xaden's a shitbird because he did not protect her the way he was capable of. He did not protect Liam the way he's capable of. And I point this out as when he kills that Venin, what does he use to do it? His shadow grabs a dagger. If your fucking shadows are out here holding dagger.
No, I don't. Well, it can hold daggers, but I thought that it pulled the Venin into the dagger that he was holding.
Okay, either way, we know the shadows can manipulate daggers. They pull out of trees when Violet throws them at him.
Yeah.
His shadows can do this. So yeah, he chose the far more complicated move of moving the Venin toward the blade as opposed to 8-ounce blade toward the Venin. But all we've learned is he's very talented sometimes, and sometimes he's a dummy. You have shadows that could reach out miles, right?
Maybe there's just too refined of a skill from such a far distance. That would be really
such a far distance. He managed to grab onto a Venin and pull it into him. I don't imagine it's that much harder to just do with a knife.
Who's the blue character in Guardians of the Galaxy with the arrow?
With the arrow?
Where he's whistling?
Oh, Gandu?
Yes.
Hey, look at me go. He died protecting the person who he loved.
I think we are being too harsh on Xaden.
No, I don't believe so. I think we can say that we love Xaden and he fell short of our expectations in this particular moment.
Oh. No.
He did a cool thing. He killed the Venin.
I don't even think he was nearby with the whole situation with Liam in the last one.
Your shadows are big enough to black out a town. Send a strand of it over there and help a brother out.
But I don't think he even saw the whole situation.
I would agree. I think he was distracted. I'm not disagreeing with the fact of he was not in a position to effectively be helpful during this process.
Yeah, and in this one or the last time. Because even the last time, I could have swore that it was something to do with the only reason that he knew what was going on was because him and Violet were talking to each other. Or Sgaeyl and Tarin were talking to each other.
I think you're right. And again, fairness to Xaden on this one. His mission was to protect the citizens. Yeah. He is actively doing that, not protecting fellow riders.
Yeah, because that was their sacrifice to make, and he's trusting that they're going to do what he's doing also.
Yeah, it just happens to not work that way, and two of the most important people in the world to him end up nearly dying. One of them does.
Ooh, yeah, it was actually the end of this chapter. I thought it was 37.
No, it's this chapter.
It is.
Yeah, this chapter's an hour long, and some of it's bullshit like this part.
Sgaeyl protects Tarin. Then Liam's tragic story happens. One that you have listened to how many times now?
Only once. I won't listen to, well, twice technically. The first one and the second one. I refused to re-listen to the Liam part. I skipped it.
I was just going to ask, did you skip it? Because I thought you listened to these 2 times.
I refused. The Liam part I won't listen to again.
Oh, no.
Yeah, 2 was enough. You know, it would be kind of like throwing a second funeral for a buddy. You know?
Wow.
Like, it would be so rough. Where you're like, man. You know, people where they discuss like, oh, I'm going to record my dying words. That's a dumb thing to do. Nobody wants to revisit those.
Yeah, his dying words are recorded every time you listen to this.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm like, no, I know it's touching. I know it's sad. I don't want to be sad.
Violet carries him. That was something I found amazing. I think she probably drug him. When I picture like dragging you somewhere, it's like I would just feel like kind of pulling you.
Like, he's dead weight. Oh. Poor choice of words.
Oh. Deigh dies, which then affects Liam because he's not injured at all. And she makes the promise to him to take care of Sloane. It was such a whiplash going from this beautiful moment and all the times that Liam has talked about Sloane to Iron Flame. Shocking.
I like it. If Sloane would have showed up and immediately loved Violet, you would really think Violet's just insufferable, right? Because you're like, she's the only one that gave nobody a fair shake right away. But Sloane showed up and she was the moody, bitchy kid kind of to the group and, oh, you're the reason my brother's dead. Like, I think this is kind of, I can see where she was coming from with it a little bit. And then Violet having to be the tough love.
And also wanting to defend herself, because at least with Imogen's critiques of Violet, she didn't give a fuck about Imogen's thoughts of her, but Sloane, it was painful. This scene, obviously devastating, and it ends with her...
You're saying that through a smile. Obviously devastating.
Devastating news.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't as sad as you, but...
It could have been Xaden. Like, they could have killed Xaden off.
Hard to disagree on that one.
Xaden's just less fun, less lovely, and perfect.
Liam got to be who Liam was because of Xaden.
No, Liam was amazing through everything. Not just because of Xaden. He volunteered to be there for Violet at the ball when they celebrate reunification. He's there, even though it's painful for him. Why? Because he's a lovely person. Where's Xaden? Xaden is off pouting on the parapet.
Because...
It means the same thing to both of those people.
Okay.
Both of those people
you have
watch their
points,
die.
And I don't like your points, so I'm steamrolling over you if we're moving along because...
Okay. All I'm saying is Liam, too young.
Yeah.
He would have made an amazing wing leader someday. Or he would have made a great king of all of these people. That's what he should have been. He should have just been promoted to king.
If this makes you feel better, there was someone who said... Never assume a character has died if you haven't seen the body. Violet never saw his body. We're just trusting.
Even if they do see the body, I don't know what to believe in this series.
I truly do believe that he is dead. I trust Xaden on this one.
Yeah, but maybe there'll be like a signet. Or maybe now Xaden is, since Xaden's Venin, he can use those forbidden powers without risk of burnout and revive him.
I swear, if Liam comes back...
Best book ever.
That would be wild use of really magic, just magic power in this world.
Yeah, but if they can bring back Barlow, Liam needs to return.
Oh my God, it would make sense that this series would have a revival because...
Jesus. No?
Because Naolan tried doing this.
Yeah, and supposedly failed, but Brennan's still alive.
Yeah, we're going to have to get some more details on that. Well, we talk about how impossible it is, which makes me think that it's probably going to be possible. But Liam's long gone by whatever time this happens.
No, he's alive and well in my heart. I think you're fucking up here. Listen, what I will say is his character would not have been compelling to have been the main character because he is not flawed in any way. Liam is perfect through the whole book, which does not make him a realistic or compelling character. But it does make it really sad when he's not there.
He's absolutely perfect. One of my favorite
Even
moments.
in death, he's helpful.
Yeah.
He is just amazing. Go ahead and say your note. Sorry.
No.
I'm busy slobbing on the old Liam knob. It's a weird moment, but I'm like, this is my favorite character of the book. And he's the opposite of a shadow daddy. He's I don't know.
I think he's blonde.
He's a light papa. I don't know what you'd call him. He seems more like he's more Santa Claus. Does that make sense? Like you want to hug him.
Are you still mourning his death right now? Because
I think you do through all of these books.
Oh.
Every time there's a moment where Violet is struggling and nobody is helping her, you're like, Liam would have been helpful. When she's having her moment with Deigh, you're like, you know what? Liam would have just fucking killed him. He'd done it for you. Instead, Xaden's like, she's a powerful, independent woman. She can do it herself. And you're like, yeah, but she shouldn't have to.
Liam would have done it.
He would have.
This all ends with Violet unleashing all of the power that she can muster and being attacked. Chapter 37, there's a Venin on Tarin. She feels taunted by this Venin, like she is missing something, but she has the answer on the tip of her tongue. And the Venin adapts to her moves quickly, and she also has a broken arm, and this is when she gets stabbed.
It was on the tip of her breast.
Oh my God.
Please help. Yeah. Remember, she doesn't have nipples. Just tips of breasts.
What do you think about the Venin's ability to counter her this well?
They're so much better trained. And arguably, they're just stronger characters, I think. I think they were prolifically skilled, and then the Venin kind of recruit those people.
You don't think they have some type of advantage with precognition or intrinsic powers or anything like that?
If they all had that, nobody would ever want to ride a dragon again.
Wait, why?
Why would you? Why would you ever want to go to Sgaeyl and become a dragon rider if you're just going to be a less powerful version of this other thing?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I think the allure to being a Venin is the dragons didn't like you enough, and you are a powerful individual. You're just kind of a cock. For whatever reason, the Empyrean's like, no, not this one. So then they get a shitty dragon or no dragon at all. But they're clearly go-getters, right?
Yeah, they're very self-motivated.
They are. And then they have their own governmental system, right? So they have, I just think of them as like, they're the third portion of this little trifecta thing going on. You have the Griffin Riders are better trained. Sgaeyl is the worst at training their cadets. But I think it's because some of their training has to revolve around the dragons.
Do you think the Venin think they are the victims in this story?
Yeah, I think that's why they became Venin. I think there's a victim complex involved with, it wasn't fair that this person had this much power and I didn't. And now they're very powerful. And now they're like, fuck it, we now deserve the magic of all of these other places, so we're going to go take it. How do you feel?
No, I don't know what I feel.
Oh, okay.
We just don't know much about Venin. I just don't know what their...
A suspicion?
I don't know. I don't know what their motives are other than they think they're victims of some kind.
I mean, to be fair, they might be. And you know what? I think Naolan became Venin and didn't die. And that's actually what broke Tarin's heart, was that he wasn't enough for him.
I have so many other questions because now I want to talk about Sgaeyl and Xaden. But no, we need to wait, have patience.
Yeah.
We're going to brainstorm and just figure out their characters.
Oh, you mean like wait for the next book?
Yeah, because I just now want to talk about Iron Flame.
Well, before we get to Iron Flame, how did you feel about Xaden saying goodbye to Liam?
I don't think I had any thoughts.
Really?
Yeah.
Imagine saying goodbye to your brother or my sister.
Is this what you do when you listen to these scenes?
Yeah, I've had so many people die in real life. I have something semi-relatable.
Ooh.
Brothers, fathers, all the important people, just kick it.
Wow, that's so sad. Don't do that to yourself.
But you see where I'm coming from. Like, he was your homie and then he's gone. And it's so sad. I'm bringing that energy so far down.
You are down.
Get out of this.
But it doesn't really get better from here because...
Well, it does when we get to the Xaden chapter, so we can giggle a little.
Yeah, true. So she gets stabbed. She's poisoned. They want to take her power. I'm assuming it's kind of like Sloane's future upcoming signet where they can siphon from them or use them?
They can draw power. They draw power from... It's said they draw power from the ground. It does not say they only draw power from the earth. I think they do siphon, but siphons transfer power. They don't just absorb it.
So they continue their battle. Tarin will not watch another rider die from not knowing their limits. She says she knows her limit. 2 seconds later, she admits she probably took too much power. I'm assuming she has a wall up and didn't let Tarin hear that part. She uses Indarna, and I saw this all as a sign that she is right, that she does know her limits because she was able to take on more than Tarin thought and take on Indarna's and use it during all of this.
So, I have questions. Number one, she was stabbed with this poison that prevents her from interacting with her dragons as it goes, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that that process was sped up by her using that much power, first of all? And second of all, do you think she could block Tarin out mentally while channeling his power through her?
I have no idea.
I would assume it's a similar gate.
Yeah, she only talks about one door.
Well, yeah, she has a golden door, she has a shadowy door, and then she has an adamantite door or something like that.
We don't know much about how this poison works other than she was just slowly dying.
I don't think it was poison.
What do you
think the dagger she was stabbed with had a rune that prevented her from being able to use magic. And then, I mean, there may have also been some poison, but I think that's why her doorways are closed to these other people, right? I guess it could be a liquid thing too, because Sgaeyl uses it in the next book. So it must be that's the poison or whatever it's dipped in. But if that's what's causing her loss of communication with her dragons, it's weird that they're giving it to the kids at the college and it's not negatively impacting their health. It's just cutting them off from their dragons.
Oh, almost like a combination of things?
Yeah, or the stab wound is what she's actually dying of, and it was medicated so that she couldn't have a relationship with her dragons.
Xaden mentions at some point that she had like black veins all over her and that they've slowly reduced over the days as she was healing.
Right.
Which implies the poison was doing that, and that it's not the same thing as what's used on the cadets. Or
the dagger was rusty. She got blood poisoning. Have we considered that at all? Did she get a tetanus shot? I don't recall.
We'll never know.
It seems like something kind of necessary in this quadrant.
Chapter 37 ends with her getting her precision strike, where she is focusing in on one of the tendrils of lightning. And I like to assume in the future, she may not be able to do it as precise, I'm assuming, because time is going to be moving forward, but have that type of control by using this moment for later. She'll have a better understanding of how to control it.
Here is my hiccup with this. Stopping time only prevents your target from moving. It doesn't mean that you're doing anything quicker. Does that make sense?
Indarna can choose who is affected.
Yeah, but I'm saying the effectiveness of being able to use your lightning in a precision way, the only thing Indarna is affecting is her target. We don't see her become very accurate with stationary targets later.
Not yet.
You see what I'm saying? I agree with you. This is her first sign of she will gain precision, but it isn't a process she repeats afterward immediately.
I was always hoping to see some scenario similar to X-Men where you have multiple people using each other's powers to help the one. Like,
okay.
I always thought that her mom would, oh, wait, she did do that. I'm being dumb. Her mom did do all this, where her mom prepped the storm for her to be able to use it.
Yeah.
No, never mind. I'm just dumb. I forgot all about this scene.
Oh, no, you're good. You were thinking of synergistic power usage.
Yeah, more teamwork within each other rather than you take on this task, you take on this task. More of a, by me using this task, you are elevated in what you can
Everybody blows out candles so Xaden's shadows cast just a little further.
You are such an ass.
No, I'm just saying, wouldn't it be cool? They're like, quick, everybody shut off your lights. All the candles are out. And Xaden is so powerful.
You are so mean.
And why is that mean? It's true, is it not?
Not what I meant.
Oh, I thought we were just talking about ways we could help people out. Is it not kind of the same?
It is the same, and that is what hurts.
Oh, goodness. Oh.
After she has her strike, she is dying. She sees everything, everyone being essentially safe, or as safe as they could be. She turns and looks at Xaden, and she's just thirsting after him as she has a broken arm, a stab wound, poison consuming her. And she just looks and thirsts and reminds us how beautiful he is and how incredibly talented of a fighter, rider, all of these things. And then she tips over and falls downwards.
As opposed to
upwards.
Falling upwards. She tips over, flips upright. You wouldn't believe it. She fell straight into the sky. It was a Superman moment. No, my favorite is, at first I was going to pick on this, right? And be like, nobody's going to do that. And then I thought about it some more. The fuck else does she have to do in that moment? Why not? Enjoy the last few things your eyes are going to see. I hope that on my way out, you're just standing near me naked. Not even joking. I don't care if I'm 60, 65, however old, and I'm in the hospital and we know I'm about to kick it, nude up. This isn't about you. You don't get to, I know you're not going to want to do it. There's people there. It's going to be awkward because our families will be gathered around us. You just tell the kids to close their eyes, and that's all I want to look at on the way out.
That's your Liam scene on the way out, is you just asking to be flashed?
No, I'm straight up nuded up. I want to see
just the titties, the
whole kit and caboodle. I want the whole thing. And again, we're 60 and you're going to be a little grumpy about it. But you just a little hop for me and then done. And you'll know that I've lived the life I wanted. But that's my Violet moment. I'll just be like, wow, she's so awesome.
Well,
if this doesn't happen, I'm writing this in my will. Like, listen, kids, if your mom didn't nude up and she knew I was about to kick it, don't let her see the grandkids. That's going to be what we got to put some stakes on this for you.
I am pushing you along into chapter 38. Indarna uses the last of her power and catches her and glides. I like to think that this was the moment that Indarna overextended too much of using her power.
You would like that. You fucking monster.
I don't know. That's not what I meant.
How dare you?
That's not what I meant.
No, I see what you mean. It comes off like this is the moment. And you would assume this is that moment. I don't know if we pointed this out yet. Isn't it interesting that Indarna has her own power? Like, feathertails are arguably more powerful than full-grown dragons.
They've told us this before, though, that this is just a feathertail thing. And that's why they gotta keep it a secret.
But what a shitty deal. You reach your adolescent years and all of a sudden you don't have any individual power anymore. You're just able to fly and breathe fire.
Yeah, but you're also... Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I'm sorry. Would you rather breathe fire or stop time? Which power would you prefer?
I see it as like a protective mechanism of their own kind. They get to use this temporary power while they have little mittens and paws and can't protect themselves and can't breathe fire. And they're tiny.
Why do they need to protect themselves if they can stop time and they have cute little adorable mittens? Nobody's going to hurt them.
Maybe the wyvern would definitely hurt them.
They can stop time.
Wait, you can't back out on your...
I'm not backing anything out. I stand by. I would still rather be able to stop time. The wyvern can hurt full-grown dragons. How exactly did Deigh die?
Speaking of which you would rather have.
Okay. Would you rather what?
There was someone who did a whole thing about if they could choose a superpower, they wouldn't choose flying because that would take effort and exercise, and they can run. They already don't do that.
Close to home on that one, huh? Shots of fire. On the other side of this, wouldn't it be kind of worth it to you if you could practice running enough you could fly?
Wow, I kind of forgot about the whole fact that not only do you have to have the effort and exercise of flying with your wings, also to run to then do it.
Well, I'm assuming unless, again, we can get back into what it takes for a 200-pound human to fly. How big do those wings need to be?
No, we are not getting into that.
You didn't do it if you...
Those are...
So much math. Well, me and a random person on Reddit have done a lot of math.
That is outside the episode conversations because those go on for a long time. And that is the only one that we break our rule if we're allowed to talk about the book.
My favorite is, you've only heard 5 minutes of this ever, and you're like, this is the moth joke all over it. I'm not doing it. And I'm like,
well, it was from our house to Walmart. That's a nice long drive for a conversation.
no. Hold on. My favorite was it was getting off the exit to a gas station on our way to Friendsgiving.
Oh, that's right. We didn't even make it all the way there.
And I didn't start it until we were getting off the interstate. You had 5 minutes of it. You're like, this is too long.
Well, you kind of ruined the imagery by saying it would have to leave the shoulders, their wings.
It can't. It needs to come off higher up. Yeah, just...
Yeah, I'm not gonna...
We won't get into it now.
Yeah.
That's for a different book series that we're nearly finished on.
Well, you made it sound like a bird, man, where they didn't even have arms. They just had wings for arms, and it was weird, so...
Pterodactyls.
Yeah, nobody wants a book like that. That can't be our book boyfriend.
Well, you already shit on the best book boyfriend in all the books we've read. And it was Liam.
Oh my
He's
God.
the perfect book boyfriend. He's the book husband. He's the one you marry. You can go fuck a guy like Xaden. You can bring him home to your mom and you guys can ogle over him. But you know what happens? He's fucking your sister. Later on. He's that guy.
No, he's not that guy.
Liam is the guy that defends you. He makes you soup when you're sickly. Liam is perfect. And I'm so sad he's gone. Sorry, Xaden, you caught some strays on that one. It's not about you.
It has nothing to do with you. Because Xaden literally takes care of her.
Well, Brennan literally takes care of her. Xaden watches. He kind of cucks her medical process. But still, I get it. He's important to be there.
So, Indarna catches her. They glide. They land.
Moment. I'm sorry I ruined it. It's really cute.
It is super cute. They're all talking around her. Not a whole lot happens in this chapter. One piece that stood out to me was Xaden kisses her on the forehead, and she is confused because you don't keep secrets from someone you care about.
So, first of all, this is deeply flawed logic. I am 100% on board with, I would not keep secrets from you. Violet should not be in that same camp because Violet doesn't tell Xaden everything. Xylet. That's her couple name. They're the Brangelina of this universe. There's probably a more, recent one than that one. Anyway, Violet doesn't share every detail with Xaden either. And even in the next book, she doesn't share everything with Xaden. She's like, well, if I'm bringing it up to Xaden, he's just going to be pissy and worry about me.
In the next book, they're fighting. But I can't
almost all of this book.
I can't remember much of the next book to know if I can judge her yet for it, because as of right now, I'm very Team Violet.
So, I'm not disagreeing with you. The first read through, you're like, Xaden's pretty fucking cool. Second read through, you're like, Xaden's fine. Violet's cooler than I give her credit for. And both read throughs, they should have both been replaced with Liam. But it's fine. It doesn't matter. Anyway, all I'm saying is the wrong writer died. So, Violet sneaks away with Mira and Rhiannon, right, to go see that kid.
Oh, but they weren't at that stage of that with their relationship.
At what point, how recent is the stage of their relationship where he should have not been keeping secrets? Because they fucked at that camp and lit shit on fire and lightning was everywhere.
I don't think that is comparable to keeping a secret that your brother is alive.
I mean, it might be. She's still buddied up with the mind reader. So mind reader hears about this. It destroys Brennan's whole life because he's no longer commander. Starts with an A.
That is why we are so quick to forgive Xaden, because we do understand his situation in this.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, arguably, that's the biggest secret he's kept. Second biggest secret is I'm smuggling weapons for an enemy territory. Also, Venin are real.
Yeah, the list of things he keeps a secret is quite long.
I started that sentence thinking I was defending him. And really, at the end, I didn't come out that way.
No.
But the tunnel curved a little.
Xaden says to her, "You can hate me when you wake, but you have to live. You can't make me fall for you and then die. Nothing is worth it without you." First read through, I was swooning.
Yeah.
I just,
Mhm.
Yeah, give me more. Second time, I'm just like, really?
You manipulative cock. No, you weren't there yet?
No, I
That's the
wasn't.
third read-through thing.
No.
You'll get there. Don't worry about it.
I think it was just more, it felt so selfish a little bit than what I thought was needed for that situation.
You think you're more mature now?
Yeah, June, me, is definitely a younger self.
I feel like my heart has grown.
I think that this is conveying that Xaden is realizing he cannot live without her. Xaden comes off as the type of guy that would quit hanging out with his guy friends because he just wants to hang out with his girlfriend all the time, and that she would need to force him to go on a guy's night. He's like, but it's not going to be as much fun as hanging out here with you. Those are the vibes that I get from Xaden. And this moment, I like to think, is intended to show his life is all about her.
See, and I took it very literally at first, because he also says, no, Sgaeyl, you need to stay safe, because have you forgotten if you die, I die? Like when she's on the parapet, going out to talk to him, and he's like, don't fucking die, I'll be dead. I think I took this as sort of that moment too. I know that it wasn't meant that way.
But I think Violet does take it this way later when she's falling out of love with him. Not falling out, you know what I mean. Whatever she's going through in her emotions.
Say fall, we just don't need to say down.
Right, exactly.
It's implied because of gravity.
When she's going through her emotions with him, I think she does reflect on moments like these where it can be taken either way because of how he words things. And that is what's so nice about these next few chapters. We can see how much he is holding back to give this composure.
Liam's not dead. Liam comes back. He's the hero we always needed. When Xaden and Violet fall short, Liam is there, and Liam's gonna see something from a long, long ways away, and then he will have built a Venin because he carved, right, all the little dragon statues. He will have molded his Venin to look just like Deigh.
You are getting out of hand. This is ridiculous.
Not ridiculous.
I don't even know why I let that go on for so long.
Listen, I listened to an hour and a half of Xaden Riorson being sexy and insufferable. Like your mama's cheeks, we gotta split this one.
We got a little long-winded there, so we're gonna make a part 2.
I'll see you in part 2, motherfuckers.
It was a great time. We had fun. Now get out and go live your life.
No, wait. No. Thank you all for listening. We appreciate and love you all. Please follow us here, TikTok or Instagram at Yarros.Podcast.
And then go live your life.
Bye.
Bye. Get out. We're done. This was Daggers and Shadow Daddies. Now it's my time. Toodaloo. It was fun for us. I hope it was fun for you. But that's all we've got. Goodbye. Come back in a few days. We love you.